Hey friends, today we are going to sow onions. Now all onions and leeks or allium family, all the seeds look exactly like this. They look exactly the same. And we're going to sow them all the same. So I'm just going to show you how to do a few rows, and then I'll show you a different way of sowing leeks in a different video. So this is white Lisbon. This is my spring onion. Now this is damp. It's already been wet compost with some perlite mixed in, just for some aeration. Now I'm just going to surface sow the onion seeds on top, and then I'm just going to cover them lightly with perlite. They only like to be 1/2 inch deep, so not deep at all. So tiny seeds. Because these are spring onions, I'm going to put 3 per little cell, because I'll just plant them out as multi-sowing plugs. Now I mentioned multi-sowing in the Q&A video. If you haven't watched that, there's a little grid that shows you how many to sow per cell, so hopefully that will help you. Now I'm going to do a few rows of spring onions just because I eat a lot. I use them in cooking. But can you see? Literally just going to throw them on the surface like that. Get some more. So I'm just doing 3, just sprinkling them on the top. I haven't dipped any holes. I've just filled them up virtually to the top, and then I'm just sprinkling the seeds on the top. I'm also getting them everywhere, which is typical Jen. So that's 3 rows of spring onions for me. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my trusty perlite, and I'm just going to gently sprinkle it on the top, just so it's just covered, because you don't want them too deep. Now for onions and any leek or allium family, they don't need heat to germinate, so you don't have to put them on a heat mat. Just the ambient temperature of your home will germinate, and then what you can do is you'll transfer them outside into a cold frame, and they'll grow on perfectly fine outdoors, because we've got 10 hours of light now. So I'm just going to continue on with all my other onions. Because these are spring onions, I've multi-sown them, but because these are going to be regular onions, I'm only going to do 2 seeds to each cell, and then I'll pick the strongest one and I'll let that grow into a little plug onion, and then I'll plant that onion out as a plug. So that's usually how you would usually grow them, from sets. So I'm basically growing my own set. So for my next few rows, I'm just going to do my single onions, and they look exactly the same, so you don't want to get them mixed up. So this is my Paris silver skin, which I am going to use for pickling. So I'm going to try desperately just to put 2 seeds in. 1, 2. And then I'll thin them out. It's hard to see them because they're black, and you're putting them onto black compost. See, I missed that plug there. They'll grow and you'll think, oh, I haven't grown them properly, but if you're anything like me, you would have missed a plug. So just gently 2 per plug, and I'll show you when these are growing, at what stage we put them out. 1, 2, and we'll cover them exactly the same with the perlite. Obviously I'm not saying you've got to buy perlite, guys. I would just suggest sieving your compost, so it's nice and light, because you don't want anything too heavy. And then we're just going to sprinkle that on. So 3 to 4 for multi-sowing, and 2 seeds for normal onions, which are thin to 1, because you only want 1 to grow on, so it's a strong bulb. Put my label in before I forget which one it is. And that's onions.